Hi everyone, this is a quick little session about making sheets in AutoCAD architecture. And this is something that we only did once, way back for one of the first tutorials during those first 2 days we're going through the software. It's always been something that we'd have to do, but of course it's done at the end of the project, which you were doing by yourself, not in a classroom environment. So there's definitely a need to go through again what it is that you're actually trying to do and how we do it. So not long ago, I would have posted a link somewhere asking everybody who's working from home to check some settings. And those settings had to do with project, that little icon, edit project, and reestablishing the link between the template files we use, right? The creation of the sheets is a large part of the reason why we're doing that, because we do have a need to make sheets, and it needs the software needs access to the title block that we actually want to use, and that's what that means right here. So if by chance you didn't do that step way back when, you have to do that step first, otherwise you won't have the proper title block to use as we create sheets. The goal is, of course, is we're making a whole series of sheets, which even though yours is a little bit abbreviated because you won't have mechanical drawings and so on, you'll still have in the realm of, 8, 9, 10 drawings in total to make by doing this exact same process. So what are we actually aiming for? We're aiming for this pretty much, right? Now, I never linked this file back in. Let's find a better one here. This is what happens when you take project files from school, by the way, and take them home, and yet they're all blank. Not a big deal anyway. You want the title block, right? This is the title block we actually want. Currently, you guys have no sheets in yours, and that's perfectly fine. So let's go through and pretend that mine, for me, I don't have any sheets, and I need to make my very first drawing for the very first time. So I'll close these down because they're just hanging around doing nothing right now other than being a distraction. Go, go, go. And we're back to here. So at this point, got some construct files, got a whole bunch of views, and I'm realizing now I'm getting close to finishing these drawings. I need to get them out of sheets and to get ready to print. So how do we do that? Within the sheet dialog of the project navigator, I'm going to right-clicking on any one of these folders will give you access to the same stuff, so it doesn't really matter what you use. Right-click, we have new, we have sheet, right? Right-click here, we also have new, also have sheet. A subset is just a folder, so like the architectural has a subset here somewheres. Once again, I'm going to right-click and say new, and just say sheet. It does give you the opportunity to name these things too, right? So the number would be the number of the sheet. So your first drawing, A1, next one, A2, and so on and so on. And sheet title and file name and so on. I'll call mine A-20 because I already have some sheets hanging around in the background somewheres, and like a lot of the files within Project Navigator, they have to have unique names. Otherwise, it doesn't really understand how to link a file when the file already exists somewheres. So I'll go with A20 just because it's well beyond the drawings I know I already have. Sheet title. I'll call this one floor plan, which probably will be architectural floor plan, but a floor plan is the only one we're doing in this case because we're not doing electrical drawings anyway. And it does tell you that this is the file name it's making, which is just a combination of the sheet title and, of course, the number. I click OK, and it dumps the sheet file here into my drawing for me. When I go in here, this is what I have, which is just the title block, and that's what it should be. It should just be the title block, because we're not really doing any work in the sheet file aside from changing the information within your title block here, which is just double-click and then enter in whatever. You might choose to get rid of the logo here for Holland College because you don't have access to this anymore. I don't have a copy here to send you to link either, so clicking on that to get rid of it, at least make sure that the text won't show up on your drawing. It still says Holland College kind of anyway for Center for Applied Science, so that'll be fine for now. Blank sheet though, right? So you do that same process over and over and over again, and make all your sheets one by one. Now, the next question inevitably is that now that I have a blank sheet, how do I actually see the drawing I want to see in this view, right? In this newly made sheet. And this is where we kind of start to combine the views with the sheets, because if this were my first floor plan, when I go to a view, I find the first floor plan and I drag and drop that drawing onto the space. And so what I see here, it's a window that looks into my view. So dragging a view into a sheet Just combine the two and we have a drawing. Now looking around a little bit, we see the grid lines in the background here. Those don't print, they're only visual, although we can turn them on and off anyway. So what is it actually doing when we add these drawings? Well, it's just dumping another reference file from the view into the sheet. Meaning that here in this sheet, which is where I am currently, I'm in A20 floor plan, right? That's my active drawing. If I go to the model space, there's the view. Like it's a reference file, external reference, just like it was when we linked a construct to a view. So a construct became a view became a sheet, and that's kind of the chain of command for establishing the drawings in this project. So backtracking a little bit, it does create a viewport for you automatically when you drag and drop this into your drawing space, meaning that the box we have here, which defines what we're seeing, it's still a viewport. I'll move it back a little bit, and I'm going to double click inside the viewport and turn off that grid to make it a little bit less obnoxious. There we go. Once again, that's a preferential thing. Click on the viewport. Now the viewport right now takes on the layer information of whatever the active layer is here. So border was the layer that was here before I did anything. When I drag and drop the view, that viewport is now on a layer called border. That's important to know because that will print, right? So that line will currently show up in your drawings when you make a PDF or you print the drawing. So I would recommend changing that to a layer called viewport, because the viewport layer is set to not print. You can still see it visually on the screen, but anything on the viewport layer will not print or show up in your PDF file at the end. So you can see it changed color. There it is. There's my plan. The plan will be to scale. So by default, it locks the scale and it puts it at 1/4 inch. You can change this by unlocking and doing whatever, but it's just simply stealing the scale here off of whatever scale was active in your view. So if I go back to the view for a second, within the view, my scale is 1/4 inch, which is why I got a 1/4 inch drawing here when I combine the two, because it's just reading the information off of the view anyway. So the viewport can be modified to cut off parts and pieces, and this is something we'll do for certain circumstances, like the enlarged plan for the kitchen, right? If you're using another view somewhere of your kitchen, well, you can manipulate the viewport to only show what you actually want to show by making it smaller. And as I already mentioned, you can change the scale, which I should have done first, truthfully, by unlocking this and changing the scale here. So you can drag and drop as many views as you want into your sheets. Let me undo that. Undo, 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 undo. You'll have cases where you want more than one drawing and like more than one drawing view on a sheet, and that's just to keep dragging and dropping things into your drawing space over and over and over again, and then manipulating their viewports individually to make them look different or to shuffle them around a little bit. So you can have a dozen different drawings that originated from views in one sheet, and they all could have different scales too, and that's perfectly fine. But that is the sheet creation process. So make your sheet. You drag and drop the views onto your sheet, as many as you need to, and of course keep in mind that once they're in here, you can still work with them a little bit anyway to manipulate what you're seeing by moving the viewports around, making them smaller, or just actually moving them, right? Move button, move back and forth, like so.